creating a new basic transfer method with Biomech 5 software. To launch Biomech software, power on the instrument controller. You will be welcomed as a Biomech user. Then double-click on the Biomech software icon on the desktop, which is created during instrument installation. After Biomech software is launched, the Biomech software workspace opens. There are two ways to create a new method. Click on the page icon on the Quick Access toolbar, or click on the File tab, highlight New, then highlight and click Method. The Start and Finish steps will then auto-populate in the Method View area within the Biomech Main Editor workspace. On the Ribbon tab, select the Setup and Device Steps tab within the Biomech group. Click on Instrument Setup step. The selected step is inserted above the desired insertion point, in this case above the Finish step. By configuring the Instrument Setup step, it specifies the type of labware used for the liquid transfer, the position the labware occupies on the instrument deck, and the labware properties. First, the current deck is selected, which always must match the physical deck of your instrument. Next, the Pause to confirm setup should be checked. The labware category is used to filter or search for the labware type to add to the deck. Labware is placed on the deck by dragging and dropping the labware graphic to the desired position. One 230 tip box is placed on tip load 2 position, and the other 230 tip box is placed on the TL3 position. Next, the labware category of reservoir is selected from the drop-down to filter for reservoir types. A BCI full reservoir is placed at the P8 deck position. To narrow the search to select which titer plates to use, the second category by well density is selected, first by 96. The BC flat 96 was selected and added to the P9 deck position. Next, the 384 well CoStar flat plate was selected and added to the P14 deck position. Once all labware is added to the deck, labware properties are configured by double-clicking on the piece of labware. Within the Labware Properties pop-up window, name the labware and, if known, the amount of liquid in each of the wells, and the liquid type. Configuring labware properties is then completed for each piece of labware on the deck. Naming labware is highly recommended and supplying the known volume amounts whenever possible. If a piece of labware does not contain any liquid, configure as known, 0 volume, and the blank liquid type, as shown with the 384 well plate. The next step in the method is a transfer step. Select the step above the desired insertion point. Then from the Liquid Handling Steps tab within the Basic Handling group, the transfer step is selected and inserted after the Instrument Setup step and before the Finish step. Once the step is highlighted in the Method view, its associated configuration window is populated to the right. First, check the pod for transfer is selected. In this example, it's pod 1. In the tip handling section, the 230 tip box is selected to indicate which tips to use. Change tips between destinations is unchecked, which allows the tips to remain on during this entire transfer step. They will not be discarded until the transfer is completed. Clicking on the triangle will minimize the tip handling window, which will be replaced by text. Next, let's configure which labware to aspirate the liquid from. You click on Click to add a source. The reservoir is then selected by clicking on it in the Current Instrument display window. Notice that its properties are auto-populated. Then check to auto-select the pipetting technique. Now, the destination plate will be configured. Click here to add a destination. This indicates which labware to dispense the liquid to. The assay plate is selected by clicking on it in the Current Instrument display window. The desired volume to dispense is in microliters and typed into the field. Double-clicking on the destination plate allows to dictate where on the plate to dispense into. In this example, quadrants 1 and quadrants 4 are chosen for the 384 assay plate. Clicking on the Zoom Out button will exit this window. Then check to auto-select the pipetting technique. The method building portion is completed. Now click on the Finish step. By clicking on the Finish step, the software completes a self or internal validation of all the method steps, and then populates an estimated time of completion, or ETC. For this method, it is 51 seconds. Now it is time to run the method. Located on the Method tab, within the Execution group, the Run button, which is the green triangle, is clicked, which then will start the method run. For this demonstration, the method is running in simulation mode. This method transfers 25 microliters from a reservoir to quadrants 1 and quadrants 4 on a 384 well plate. Please note, additional hardware settings must be configured for you to use the simulation mode on your physical instrument. Please refer to the manual. It's that simple to program a basic transfer method with Biomic 5 software.